It's just associating people the fact that it's your work. It's your signature. Okay. So this is our last one. So this is the flyer. Okay. So Apostle Burks is having her service. So she sends me the flyer from the graphic artist. Now, when I saw this flyer, I didn't necessarily feel comfortable about this flyer. And I know that, you know, she's a new pastor. And I thought that there's some things that I could teach her about putting flyers together. Now, it's a great flyer. The only thing is it has so much going on. And again, when you're giving out flyers, whether you're putting them on the internet or you're passing them out, you don't want to have so much going on because it confuses people. Notice everything else I showed you. Simple, 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 simple. So here are the things that I shared. I already shared this with her, so I'm not here to make her feel bad. I taught her these things, and so I shared with her that I'm going to teach it to you as well, because you could benefit as well. So here's some of the things that I shared with her about this as we made some changes. One, this is her church logo, very nice, but here's the problem here for me. This is competing with me because when people first look here, they're looking here as well. You don't want them to do that. You want them to focus on your speaker. Keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. Then they have me in a shadow back here. It's not necessary. You got so much going on this flyer. Okay, so they didn't need this. It's pretty, it's nice, but it's not necessary. The question is it necessary? Everything that you put on your flyer should be there for a reason. Okay? Now, the other thing about this flyer is it has so many colors. It has this image in the back and this diamond shaped thing. It has yellow. It has burgundy. It has light blue. It has like a green. It has a fuchsia. It has this brown. It has too many colors. It's just too many colors. It's pretty, but is it productive? That's your question. It's pretty, but is it productive? Not from the perspective of the graphic artist. Not even from your perspective. If you give it to a person, does it work? Does it pop out? Is it clear? And what is it that you're trying to make clear? Your date, your address, what it is that you're going for. Notice everything else that I've showed you in all of those flyers previous always had dark on white. Dark on white. You don't necessarily see that here. Your Sunday, your date is getting lost. Your time is getting lost because it's not popping out because all of this is popping, and particularly this. It's pretty, but it can overshadow other things. Okay? Location. Now, I shared with Apostle Burks, the name of her church is For His Glory Worship Center. For His Glory is a refrain that a lot of people use in church. So I shared with her that whenever she's doing flyers or something like that, that she definitely makes sure that people understand it's a location. That For His Glory is not a location, but For His Glory is the name of the church. That is clear, because if not, that transition can get lost. Because people think that you're just kind of saying something. A churchy would just kind of think that you're saying something. So this location, I probably would have moved it over here. But we've made some changes. We worked on it together and made some changes. So I'm going to just kind of move down so you can just see some of the changes. Okay. So now you see that the tiger is gone. Now the whole logo piece is gone. All right. So now we're popping this out. We made this a little bit larger. We eliminated what was in the background. Now I still don't approve of this flyer, but it is much better than it was. Okay. And I shouldn't say I shouldn't approve of it, but it's not the best is what I mean to say. Because again, you don't want to have so much on it that it confuses people as to what's going on. Now, you see this in the back? This is a pattern. And when the graphic artists are doing your flyers, they're doing layers. So I knew that every time she went back and shared with the graphic artist that she wanted to make some changes, that that person would probably feel uncomfortable, because when they did the first flyer, they had a lot of layers. Anybody that does graphics, you understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of layers. This is a layer. This is a layer. This is a layer. The date is a layer. This 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 box is a layer. This is another. They put a lot of work into this flyer, but here's the point. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Okay? But Apostle Burks got a chance to learn something. So this was the second flyer. And so we made some changes here. And this was the final flyer. Now notice this. This should have still been here. But notice it's all working together. Do you see it? Now you see this coming over to her name. Okay, you see this coming over to her name. You can feel free to sow into the ministry if this has helped you. You can sow a seed of any kind at DeborahHooper.com, because you're not going to have nobody that's going to tell you this. Trust me. Okay, here's the previous flyer. Remember, this was in the box, and they separated the name of the church from the actual address. They shouldn't have did that. As a matter of fact, originally, let's go back up. They didn't even have a telephone number. They didn't have anything. So if I'm coming to a city, I'm preaching somewhere else, and I tell people, go to my website and you'll see this flyer. Well, if they want to call the church and ask about information, and we went with this flyer, there's nothing on here. There's nothing on here. So I suggested, please tell the graphic artist to put your telephone number and to make it all one. And so this, I believe, is the final flyer. So now they made it all one. It's all flowing together. That's how it should read on your flyers. As a matter of fact, this should have been centered. It shouldn't have been flush left. But I knew, maybe I don't know if she knew, but I knew that this person wasn't going to go through all of that, because they had already created all of these layers. And it would have been a little bit more time consuming. And sometimes they want to charge you extra. But a good graphic artist would know that the address of the church and the name, all of that should go together. Notice now you have her name right on top of her. So I'm her guest, but she's here as well. This is a great picture. It's clean. It's professional. It works. So you know who the pastor of the church is. The only thing I would have added to that, and I did share this with her, and you want to keep this in mind, is what J.J. Hairston did. The same thing I did. If you have a Facebook page, I would have a Facebook logo, one that people can identify, and your Facebook name. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out, because people already are on Facebook, so they know what that looks like. They see this every day. Okay, but this definitely should have been here. What else did we do here? Okay, I think that this should have popped out. People don't really know who I am. I could get lost in here. Okay, let me see if I have the original flyer. Let me go back here. Yes. I gave her some information to put on the flyer because I wasn't really sure how the graphic artist was going to flow. So I gave her these titles: International Evangelist, Ministry Coach, Author, and Pastor. Once I saw the flyer and I saw how long this was, I deleted these two. And I just kept Evangelist and Ministry Coach. You see it here? Okay. You don't need 25 titles. Okay, but and then sometimes what people will do is they'll put little brackets if you have a few. But she didn't do that. I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. I'm not talking to the graphic artist, so I didn't want to make a big deal because I don't want to create a problem for Apostle Burks. So I just said delete that. Okay, but this should have been maybe in white. Why? To make it pop. If I had the graphic artist put this in white, I would have put this in another color, maybe yellow, because yellow pops out very well on this, but I would have made sure the yellow was strong. Okay, so one of the things you can always, whenever you see a flyer that you like, save the flyer And what I do is I submit the flyer with my information, and I say to the person, I like something on this order. It's easier for them to guide them, because they don't want to be doing your flyer 2 and 3 times. Most people will only give it to you twice. So that's why I'm showing you this.